Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Show to View with Mike G, the show of life, the show of rum, the show of cinematography, the show of films, and everything in between. Today's guest is the pensive Trey Jenkins, formerly of Pech&eacute, and on to a larger role as the head mixologist, the head cocktailologist, whatever you'd like to call it, for Republic National Distribution Company, the evil empire to some and the good guys to others. But we catch Trey. We talk about a lot of different things. But of course, we talk about rum. There's this passion he's got for rum. But here again, we have someone that went to art school and pursued something in the arts. Jason Cosmas with painting. Trey with filmmaking. I mean, it's just another example of how food, how booze, how making cocktails is really all just a matter of balancing textures, colors, and your inner sense of creativity. So let's dive into my interview with Trey Jenkins.
More the visual language film.
So cinematography?
Cinematography.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did that for 5-6 years.
Oh, no kidding. You like working in the field doing films and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you find out, though, you're not really making, so, you'd want a script that you can take some emotion from and learn how to speak the language through the camera with that. That's the ideal situation. To go in and say, I see the script, I know how to translate that visually.
Yeah.
And it turns out most of the time you're getting paid to do the opposite.
Really?
You're getting paid to create a visual language that makes people feel a certain way.
Right.
More so than like that content being there. So
you basically have to, the handicapped content, so to speak, you have to hype it up and make sure that it's visually, in other words, do they rely on you to elevate the content, which might be flat? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, you see commercials. It's like, when you're here, you're family. No, you're not. But, you have to make it feel like it is when people watch it,
It's so strange. Do you like, man, I pay a lot of attention to commercials for that same kind of branding perspective, but it's still filmmaking.
Yeah,
Like Wes Anderson does stuff for Amex over across the pond, have you seen anything lately where like, actually that's pretty beautiful?
Honestly, man, I haven't. I was really into film.
Yeah.
But now I've I tend to not be able to focus on a million different things really heavy at once.
So it's like, is the not that it's an invective, but booze is kind of one world, right? And then film's another.
Yeah. And then if I'm putting all my efforts into this and trying to, because I like information. I'm like a sponge. I just want more and more and more.
Yeah,
so when I was in film, that's all I would do is watch films.
Man. It's brilliant. Did you go down the Antonioni path?
No.
Okay, no, you're better off. Because I've had this conversation before, but like Michelangelo Antonioni, he takes you down this path for like 3 hours. You're like, there's none of this is substantial.
Yeah.
I'm sitting around with you while you're shooting stuff.
Yeah.
But like, were there any particular guys that were really influential for you?
I worked with a guy. His name was Ben Mesker. Really, really, he taught me not only, not so creatively. Yeah. I mean, he was super creative guy, super talented.
Was he a writer, director?
He was a director, photographer.
Oh, okay.
Photography.
DP,
yeah. But I mean, he taught me how to get the job done.
Because that's important, right?
Yeah.
It's Soderbergh style. Like, get it done, make a movie, keep moving through.
Yeah, you can't, yes, you can fix that light, but how much time and money is that going to take?
Yeah, right.
To stop and fix that light. Can we make it better? How much better is it going to make it?
Yeah. What, like, if we take a day to just mess with it? Is it even worth it?
No, because I mean, the way we would shoot at that point, I mean, when I was first learning how to do it, you set up lighting plots. You planned ahead because we technically didn't really know what we were doing yet.
Right.
Once you learn once you learn how light works, you don't forget it.
Yeah,
because
it is scientific principle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like and once you learn what that HMI is going to do, once you learn what that light's going to do, that 1K.
Right.
Once you know what all the lights are going to do, you just know it. You know
they're going
what
to
kind
do
of
that.
output it's going to give you, what kind of look it's going to give you. So once you learn that, you get on set, you have your light kit, and it's just like you already know where everything's going. So you're no longer planning, you're just
executing.
Yeah.
Did you like that realm, working in film?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you think that was going to be kind of where you wanted to go? Maybe LA, maybe New York?
Oh, I never know where I'm going to, my whole goal was to get out of my small town, and past that, I'm like, whatever happens.
What the fuck ever, right? Yeah. So, because I always want to say, like, hey, what do you find visually stunning? Because I think about some movies I've seen lately, especially in kind of in my lifetime, and is there something that you found particularly from a
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner. Yeah. And it's not content; it's the way it looks.
The look, yeah. And
are you a Ridley Scott fan?
Yeah. Just his style and just the atmosphere he's able to create.
Yeah. Even Prometheus was hard from a script perspective. But it was kind of hard for me, but it felt good. Yeah. Great aesthetic. What'd you think of The Martian? Do you see it yet?
No. Haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's his. Because you look at it, man, you've got what's the one with Denzel, American Gangster, right? Which is a kind of a recent, a great movie from him, kind of an epic. You've got Gladiator, fucking obviously Alien, and all this kind of early stuff. But this is his home run. Yeah, you should check it because it makes you like Matt Damon, which is hard for some.
I don't mind him. I
don't mind him either, but
yeah.
He can be,
Yeah.
But he seems like a nice guy. I would love to get a drink with Matt Damon, which is the main barometer for.
I was gonna say, is this the goal of this to eventually lead up to talking to Matt Damon? You're gonna drop little
man.
Matt
If I
Damon
get Ben
hints?
Affleck, I'll be fucking happy. Hey Ben, I didn't realize your wiener was in Gone Girl. It just caught me. Why did Fincher shoot his wiener?
Yeah.
I say wiener adoringly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's the.
But I wouldn't be surprised if this year you see Damon Up, because it had great revenue, good ratings. It's a very taut movie, and it looks wonderful. Yeah. It's Ridley Scott, like in a form I hadn't seen before, in the sense that he made a blockbuster. However, it had heart, it had great movement, great pacing,
right,
and it looked great.
Well, it's tough too when you're doing that, because you don't want to look. The best cinematography is the ones you don't notice. Yeah, exactly.
That's a great point. Yeah,
and you don't ever want to make the film about the look.
Yeah,
and I when I first started, and even towards the end of when I was doing it,
mm-hmm.
I would always create for the look, and it's like,
really,
I need to step away from this for a little bit and kind of get to know life a little bit more, you know, because you have these shitheads 23-year-olds like, oh, I can direct. No, you can't. You haven't lived through anything to pull emotion out of people.
What do you know at 23?
Yeah,
because how old are you now?
I'm 31.
Yeah, so 31.
I still
that's
don't know
respectable.
Yeah.
No, I'm 35, and I'm I don't know how to operate many things in my life, right? But 31 is at least like you're in the clear. You're post 30, right? But at 23. What do you really know?
Well, you had not just that, but you haven't really had to navigate life's emotional,
the serpentine trails of life.
Yeah, you haven't. Yeah. I mean, some kids probably felt a lot of loss, and they've grown up, but
I mean, of course, for every statement, there's going to be exception.
Yeah,
and like fucking fine, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, at 23. You don't know much. You probably had You're heartbroken a little bit. You don't really understand exactly your perspective on life and how to be ambitious necessarily, but you know that you like art. You just suck it all in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good, I mean, honestly, that's a good period to be in. It's not a negative thing. It's like,
no, absolutely not.
It's like that's what's going to drive you to reach those things.
Well, anybody's got to be a sponge first.
Yeah.
You can't just, well, how do I make a movie? Well, I've never seen a movie. How do I do it? No, you have to listen to music. You have to watch movies to really understand how to do that stuff. And we'll chat about it, but it's the same thing with thinking about taste. Yeah. Thinking about flavors. Like, you can't just start.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess you could, but you wouldn't be any good yet, you know, because you have to know what doesn't work. Cheese and fish, right? The theorem, like, it does not work.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. So, but if Facebook serves me well, which it does every now and again, did you grow up in Maryland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up
Cambridge. Is that the street? Yeah.
Yeah. Super small place on the way to the beach, pretty much.
Is it like the real Cambridge?
What's that?
Is it like the bigger Cambridge where?
Oh, no. I mean, this place is. I remember when we got a Walmart, it was a big deal.
No
like
kidding.
that kind of place.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like really small, really not a super diverse area.
Yeah.
I mean,
so a lot of white people.
A lot of white people, but then you had a lot of black people too. And that was your two.
Oh, right, Maryland. What am I
Maryland,
thinking, right?
yeah.
Baltimore, crazy, just polarized.
Yeah,
area.
completely. And Cambridge was a smaller version of, like, if you've ever been to Baltimore or DC, where it's completely split down the middle, you know?
Yeah.
But it was
how far geographically, like, is it, 20 miles, 10 miles, something like that?
Yeah,
something like.
But I mean, that's a great place to grow up.
Yeah,
in a way.
What'd you like about it?
Perspectives.
Yeah,
a lot of different perspectives. A lot of polarizing perspectives. That's where you see the most. You know, when things are. Oh yeah.
But did you remember a time where you're like, man, I'm very polarized about this particular?
Well, not just in general, but just the community. Yeah. You know, the community is very. I guess it'd be a smaller version of how most of America is. Like,
really,
nobody understood each other. They live with each other, but no, that's the thing. You know,
they just want to do their thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you had a lot of different viewpoints going on in a place that's primarily low income.
Yeah.
So it was a cool place to grow up. Like, now I look back at it, like, that's a
very rich.
Cool, yeah. But now, you know, at the time, I'm like, I got to get out of here. You know? I got to see other things besides these people. You know.
So you were born in Cambridge, in Maryland?
I was born in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
But I was my dad was in the Coast Guard, so I was
moving around a bit.
Yeah, moving around a little bit. So
what we call the nuclear family, parents married and all that.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have any siblings?
I have a younger brother.
Yeah. Kind of do you think he enjoyed that moving around and kind of the real hardy?
Well, I think we settled down by the time he was born. He's like 8 years younger than me.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of 23.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How is he coming into his artistic own?
No, he's kind of I didn't say this negatively, but he's simpler than I am.
No, but that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, God damn it, my parents are like, why are you so? What? Just eat the hot dog. Why you gotta think? Why you gotta think about it so much?
That's a good phrase. Just eat the hot dog. Sometimes you just gotta stop and eat the hot dog.
Hot dogs are great.
Yeah.
But why? Sometimes I just think about it too much.
Yeah.
What was high school like in that? But also pretty diverse.
Yeah, very diverse. I don't know. I kind of kept to myself.
Yeah.
I was that guy.
Kind of a loner.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Well, that's what happens when, at least in my opinion, when you move around a lot. I moved around a lot with my dad. He was getting new jobs and stuff, and you're constantly redefining.
Yeah. Like, I got along with everybody, and I got to know a lot of people. I didn't stay in any, cliques or anything like that. I just kind of knew everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff were you doing, like, on your own? Were you playing? You weren't playing music. Were you watching movies or?
Yeah, watching movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything real influential at that point?
At that point, I mean,
It's hard to say, right? But
the thing is, like you first start out, you're like, Clerks is awesome, you know. And
it is awesome. It's still good. It's still good.
And then you're like, you know, Tarantino's awesome.
Yeah.
And then like you slowly get into like, okay, this is, you know what? One actually made The Crying Game.
Oh, really?
That one made me...
Neil Jordan, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw that and I'm like, whoa, movies can be a lot different than what I thought they could be. You know?
Nice, like at the end, the guy's got a wiener.
Yeah. It's like...
and it's like, I didn't think he did.
Yeah.
And he was up for the best supporting actor for that particular role.
Yeah.
And I still haven't seen that movie.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
embarrassed,
actually.
You know the plot twist.
I know the premise, but that was because it was on in living color at the time, right?
No, it kind of showed me, okay, well, movies can be a completely different perspective that you never even thought of. You know?
Oh, for sure.
So then you start getting into, you know, next thing you know, you're watching Fellini, you know, and you're like into it.
Yeah, it's good. It's different. It changes. Yeah, it almost like, you know, not to discount American filmmakers because there's great American filmmakers, but somehow you have to go back to Italy or you have to go back to France to like truly see how it's done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's how it was for me for Truffaut, for example.
Right.
I mean, he launched the new wave, right? We're going to be real cool, real snooty for a second, right? But 400 Blows is a very moving film. And it's simple, right?
Yeah.
Did you get deeply involved with like the Godard stuff, the Eric Romer stuff?
Yeah, like remember Pierre Le Fou? Dig that one. Like, I got really, like you said, Italy and French. You kind of go back to those, and that's where you see, okay, well, and the thing is, they were just doing it.
They just did it.
They weren't thinking
Fassbender?
about. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into any of his stuff?
Yeah.
Dude, it's insane. The guy died, 35, I think? Mid-30s, because he overdosed on cocaine. And he made so many movies, and they were so visceral, and it was like just an amazing movie.
Yeah, and that's a good word for it, visceral, because they're not going out but like, oh, well, you know, we're gonna make it look like this movie or look like that movie. They're just like, how can we capture this in the best way that we think we can?
Totally in the moment.
Yeah. So
did you start to develop kind of a sense of aesthetic with all that stuff?
Yeah, you know, you eventually start to learn like certain. I mean, even that though, like lighting, it took me more into classic art.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of one source lighting that would be used in classic art and like things that you kind of. Because once you look at film, it's like, okay, and then you look at art and you're like, okay, these guys really know lighting. They really understand it because they had to create lighting that wasn't there. Right. You know, there's no 3 dimensions there. It's like, how is this light wrapping around single thing in this room, and how can I paint that at a 2-dimensional plane?
Which is, I still can't do it.
Oh, no.
I've never been able to do it. Yeah. It's something brilliant about being able to see things 2D but paint them in 3D. Yeah. In a sense, right?
Yeah, because you have to know you have to see the whole scene, how it's all, like I said, the lighting, how it's touching everything, how everything is shaped, how everything's colored. Yeah, it is. It's interesting because the light will seep in throughout all of it. Yeah. You know. So, you graduated though from Cambridge, or rather in Cambridge, in Maryland? Yeah, I graduated high school there. Spent some time in Baltimore after high school. Yeah. Doing what? Photography. Oh, cool. Yeah. I did sports photography mainly. No shit. Yeah. The Orioles? Not quite that, like NCAA tournaments. Fair, and still yeah. A lot of like, you know, Junior Olympic stuff. Right. And just some of the more sports. So would you come out of high school with? Like, did you know where you wanted to go next after that? Oh God, no! Like, I was like, I'm in Baltimore. I'm game. Like, I'm whatever. I made it. You know. Yeah. I'll go sideburns like Ripken. I don't give a shit. No, like, you know, it was more about I didn't have a plan at that point. Yeah. It was kind of it's out. Nice though sometimes. Oh yeah. To walk the earth like Cain. Yeah. Right? Just experience it. Well, yeah, and it was like, you know, I got to Baltimore and did that for a while, and then I'm like, well, I need to take this to some next step. Yeah. You know, so that's when I looked into going to film school. Oh yeah. You seem like that to me, the guy that
Ambition is because you can't just sit still.
Yeah.
You have to keep learning, as you said, right?
Yeah, and I don't know where that will ever lead me. Like, I don't know if I'll...
Doesn't matter, though.
No.
As long as it leads you somewhere else, right?
I don't know if I will stop and be like, all right, this is good.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy.
I can calm down for a little bit.
How was your experience in film school?
Yeah, in retrospect, like, it was great. You know, you get to be around other creative minds, which is always wonderful. Amazing. Yeah. But back how expensive it was, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna buy a camera. And some
I'll
lights
hang out in some fucking discussion groups. Discussion forums. And we'll
exactly.
Hang out. But it's nice being in the classroom, right?
No,
I always enjoyed that.
And honestly, it pushed me. It gave me a trajectory.
Yeah.
You know, even if I had to pay that much for it, it gave me a trajectory at least. You know.
Yeah. How long were you at Full Sail?
It's like a 2-year program.
Oh, is it really? Did you finish up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you at that point were like, I've got some skills, I've got a perspective. Are you gonna stay in Maryland at that point, or did you head out?
Yeah, I mean, the day of my graduation was my first gig. I actually skipped graduation because I got a PA gig.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm like whatever. I'm okay. This is what I was here for. Now I'm gonna work, and now I'm working, so I don't need to, you know.
Well, at the whole point, you went to school anyway, right? To work.
So I'm like, I'll skip that, and got my first PA gig, and just because I pestered a DP, like, come on, bring me on.
That's good. Self promotion, right?
Yeah. Every week I was like emailing him, like, come on, what's up? You know?
Yeah. Real quick? How is the film scene in Maryland in general? I know Georgia has made like a big play. They've got Walking Dead now. There's a lot of other movies I see that.
I'm not sure because I stayed in Orlando.
Oh,
I stayed in Florida.
Oh,
yeah, to do it.
Oh, is that where you went to school, or you? Full Sail. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Full Sail down in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, totally different vibe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is there a vibe? I don't know. In Orlando.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know Orlando. There's a lot of orange people in Orlando, if I recall. Yeah.
What? I mean, you were near Miami and Key West and all that, which was cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Hemingway.
Yeah.
Blood still on the walls.
The penny's still in the
sorry,
pool
everybody.
It got dark.
But we were drinking rum. We're drinking fucking Havana Club. In fact,
right?
You know, if anything, Mr. Papa, he's known for the daiquiris in Havana. So it's a good call out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But was it distinctly different being in Orlando than Maryland?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's there is working for the theme parks and the hotels.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it's a tough culture. I mean, I'm sure it's growing. Sure. I haven't been back, but I mean, really, really tough culture.
Really?
Yeah, it's.
Is it because everybody's hustling?
It's not just because everybody's hustling, but everybody's hustling and not happy about it.
Oh man.
You know?
Did that have its effect on you as well?
Not really.
No.
Yeah.
Pretty optimistic.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm optimistic or pessimistic.
How about
at this
not
point.
cynical?
Yeah, not cynical.
That's good. I'm very cynical.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Yeah.
It's very different. It's very difficult.
Yeah. No, it's got its own. I guess it's got its own vibe now, but it had no culture at all when I was there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's just transient culture, which is kind of like Vegas, right?
Very transient.
Yeah.
Extremely transient.
Which is different because how do you establish something, right? Because you're just appealing. Because you want to appeal. You want to start a concept that appeals to the people that are just coming through. But then what are you left with when they're gone?
Well, I mean, there was a good Vietnamese community there because there was it was called the Mills District, but that's because Orlando was one of the places where the internment camps they would send.
No kidding.
Yeah, so there's a actual almost like a little Vietnamese area there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
The food is amazing. And that little it's only one of the few places to go to get good food. You know?
Yeah. The internment camps, bad. But if a wonderful culinary uprising occurs, no problem, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea. So is it it's outside of the beach or because I think of internment camps just because we're trying to be punitive as the United States government, right? Like we would never put anybody on the beach. That's way too pleasant.
No, that's
just put them inland.
God,
put them in like Nebraska.
They saw foresight and said put them in Orlando. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So was it? And help me learn because I understand the Japanese internment piece. Was there a Vietnamese internment as well?
I believe so. I mean,
no
that's,
kidding.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, we just took out all of our aggression on everybody.
Yep.
We're going to war with you guys. Fucking going to camp.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing. Terrible thing. Were you doing cocktail stuff or bartending at that point too?
Man, I didn't even drink.
No kidding.
No, I didn't.
Why? Trey, why in the hell?
No, I thought drinking was something you did to get drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can be.
It is. Yeah,
it can be.
But,
but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, to be in full disclosure, same way.
Yeah.
I was a straight edge kid, hanging out with hardcore dudes, going to hardcore shows like in Salt Lake City in the 90s. And for some reason, it's like alcohol is this foreign thing. I don't understand it. My mom hates it, so fuck it.
Yeah.
And it's just polarized. I think either it's one extreme or the other.
I mean, I drink now, but
to...
it's for flavor and for taste
different.
now. It's like I'm unfortunately never going to be the guy that goes to your nice cocktail bar and orders a shot and a beer because I want a cocktail.
You want a cocktail, you want to taste it, the dynamics.
Yeah.
What do you remember what it was that made you kind of reevaluate the way you felt about booze? Was it a cocktail? Was it a shot? Was it a nice conversation?
I don't know. I think it because when I got a job at I mean I didn't even drink before I started working at Pech&eacute.
Really?
Yeah, like
Holy shit,
that
man.
job is what made me like, taste
I didn't know
things
that.
and- yeah.
Yeah. Just because you rallied it against it because you thought it was kind of like a device for people, or
No, it wasn't like anything I even rallied against. It was just like I'm good. I'm cool.
Yeah.
And I feel all right. So
Did you have brief tangent? Did you have other ways in which you wanted to escape? Like some people do, they take acid. Some people mushrooms. Was any of that part of your regimen? Also,
no, didn't have that.
Totally clear-headed.
Didn't have that suit in the car.
Man.
Yeah.
I feel. I don't know what to say. No, but honestly, man, we share that because I wouldn't drink for a long time. Yeah, until my mid-20s, and I wouldn't do drugs. And I just felt like somehow I wouldn't be me, the clear, quote unquote creative type, if I subjected myself.
And honestly, in the back of my head, it looked like I'm like, that's not something I want to try to control yet.
Yeah,
I don't want to have something else in my life that I can't figure out.
Right? No, that's a great point.
Yeah,
you're Irish. No, I was kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So were you doing any kind of industry or cocktail stuff when you were in Orlando?
No, man.
Still just straight up school?
straight film. Like I even came to Austin because I had a friend that was in film.
No kidding. So you came here because it's a great film community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love, man. Lots of wonderful people in film here. Even the Film Society is wonderful.
Yeah.
So you came here wanting to do deep cinematography work.
Yeah.
What year did you come into Austin?
It was maybe 4 years ago.
No kidding.
5 years ago.
Oh man, I should. I think about it. It's like, man, you've only been here 4 years.
Yeah.
And have you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you liked how it's changed even in 4 years?
Yeah, it's going to. That's what it's going to change. You know, it's
some people are really against change. I
get that. I understand that. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the change. Like I said, it's growing. It's gonna.
You can't stop it.
Yeah.
It's been
especially
good
when
for
you put it on every goddamn list on the internet. Like move here,
best city
to move to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
want to meet girls?
It.
Austin's got girls. Yeah. Move to Austin.
Yeah. Want to meet anything? Want to do anything? Move to Austin. Yeah.
Which is a little bit ambitious, I think.
Yeah, I think so
a little bit.
Yeah.
So when were you doing film work then? You came to Austin with film. Anything that you worked on when you came into town?
Yeah, I worked. There was a group called Arts and Labor up north that I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. They were kind of the first people to give me gigs.
That's killer. Yeah. It's isn't it also like a workspace place?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Don, he edits there all the time.
Oh, okay.
Which would be funny because because he's been there for a while now. You guys probably have seen each other.
Yeah.
He's pretty not grim, but pretty gruff.
Yeah.
As many editors
Oh
the
yeah,
film
well
industry.
they get stuck in their cave, and
Dude,
you
they
know,
do. And
it's like little bears in their cave, and
he looks like a bear.
yeah,
He totally does.
yeah.
So why transition? Was Pesce your first gig then in Austin?
Well, yeah, and it wasn't. It was almost an accident. It was like, let me get this job. Like, it was a busser job that I picked up there.
Okay.
And I was like, I got to make some money. My wife was like, you need to look on Craigslist and just grab something.
Do something. So, did you meet her in Orlando or in Maryland?
Maryland.
Cool. So you guys have you got a tight, wonderful love of your life that's like there with you the whole time, and a voice of reason.
You nailed it.
There we go. You gotta love that.
Yeah,
it's the first time, so I we can end it now because I've never nailed it ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I kind of just picked up a busser job and ended up loving the bar. They moved me to server. Actually, they moved me to bar back first.
Okay. Who was there at that time? Man, I've had so many Pesce people in here.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's
Justin talks about it. Oh man, there's a couple others.
It was Dwayne, Larry, John Roach.
Okay.
Mark.
Cool.
He's in San Antonio now, but
good crew.
Yeah, good crew.
Did you feel like that's the step you wanted to take?
I mean, kind of. It was just like I knew something was pulling me towards it.
Right.
You know, so I was.
It was a natural like gravitation.
Yeah,
towards it.
yeah.
It's creative, much like.
Yeah, it is very much so.
You talk about colors. You talk about flavors. Flavors are colors. Blending, right? Balance, all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very much still an artistic. You know.
It is.
It's an artistic.
So
thing
you didn't feel like you were giving it up.
Yeah,
the creative
just
part,
transitioning it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just something gravitated me to that. They tried to make me a server. I'm a horrible server, worst server in the world.
Really?
Did not work. Horrible,
what makes
man.
you a bad server?
I don't know. I remember even like I had to take a table at Isla like not too long ago, and it was a 12 top, and I'm like, I'm fucked. You know,
I can't even divide by 12.
Yeah, it's like you all of you want something like can't only
what
three
about
of you?
You don't want anything, do you? Like no,
good.
just don't get anything.
How about everybody that can't decide just go somewhere else? Everybody that wants something stay. Like so yeah, I'm just not. I don't know. It's just that I think it's a different atmosphere.
It is, yeah.
People come to a bar to have fun.
Sure, bars are certainly different than food.
Yeah, people don't sit at a table to have fun all the time.
Not always.
Yeah.
Or they want to masquerade as if they're having a meal, but they just want to get fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, and most people are like they want to go because they want to see whatever they saw on a list next or
How do
came
you
across on.
Real quick, how do you feel about that? Just people doing things not because they necessarily think they'll enjoy it, but because they want to cross out a list because someone said it was good.
I don't know, man. I think it's more of like you kind of run out of places to go, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
interesting. Sometimes I get the sense that people rush to play. Oh, it's like, oh, I've heard of this place.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to enjoy it or do you just want to go because you want to say you went?
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
it's totally different things.
It's like we're going to watch a movie that you're kind of want to watch, but not really. It's
right. Like you just, I heard this is so
yeah,
good.
Yeah. It's like,
but some movies are that good and they have that reputation for that matter. But I think Pappy Van Winkle's that way.
Yeah.
Right? I heard it was good.
It's a movie everybody wants. It's really good that everybody's going to go see.
And it's sometimes really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not so good.
Sometimes it's,
You know, it's strange. I think that it would be hard. I've worked in sales and stuff, and but in tech, so it's slightly different, right? And I've been a dick plenty of times to people.
Yeah.
When there are a few that I still feel bad about that I was so curt with, you know.
They stick with you.
They stick with me, man. Yeah. Oh, he was being a dick, but I was way more of a dick than him, and I just feel so bad still, but I don't lose sleep over it, thankfully.
Yeah.
Is it hard, like, adjusting your level of expertise and your level of knowledge of the spirits to what people think they know when they come in?
I don't think so, man, because you're not there for your knowledge. Right. You're not there for what you know. You're there to let them tap into that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not really there to show off. It's never about you.
Yeah.
You know.
That's good. That's really nice.
That's
well, good service is never about oneself.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you're in this business and the hospitality for yourself. It's not for you.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, I think that's why we all drink so hard, because we're never doing it for ourselves. You know.
It's like, God, if only I could make a drink that I wanted to make.
Yeah. But I mean, no, it's that's what you're there for, is for somebody who comes in that doesn't know everything, that wants to learn, or maybe doesn't want to learn, but you can find a way to make them learn. You know.
Yeah.
Trying to get them out of their comfort zone, and
there's something rewarding about that.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. And you know, there's ways to do it that's nice to the person still, and there's ways to do it that's not so nice to the person still. You know, I opt to do it the nice way.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trey,
Yeah.
for being a nice guy. Sometimes I wonder if I love people.
Yeah.
I'm a people person. I just think that they're flawed, but God bless them, right? But sometimes there are bourbons that you guys, especially at Pech&eacute, man, you guys have such a wonderful, or it did have wonderful selection, right? But sometimes I just want to like smack somebody on the hand.
Yeah.
And say like, why would you do that?
Yeah. No, I mean you got to know your product too, because if somebody comes in wanting a certain thing or a certain bourbon that's maybe not so hot,
right?
But you can still find something that's close to that flavor that they want. That it's like, oh, I didn't know that this was out there and that it existed, and you know.
There's always that person to connect with.
Yeah,
right?
but if he's like, at the end of the day, like, you know, I don't like it, I'm like, fine, I'll drink it. You know, I'll pour you something else all day long. I just wanted to kind of show you something cool. You know.
Did you like that transition from? So is that where you kind of like cemented how your talents? So for example, so you're bar backing at Pech&eacute, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that first shift where you're actually like not on your own, but you're making cocktails,
right?
How did that feel? Is that something you're like, oh, no, I really want to own this?
Well, yeah. I mean, my first shift was a guy didn't take off enough days for his vacation. There was some miscommunication or something.
Right.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'd been pestering everybody for the build sheet, and just, you know, I keep my eyes and ears open when I'm bar backing. You know, that's the best advice for anybody who ever wants to be a bartender. Open. Shut up and keep your eyes and ears open. Yeah. You know. But that's what I did, and they were like, well, this guy's not showing up. Do you know any drinks? And I'm like, yeah, I know him. Mostly. You know?
In theory, I know.
Yeah. And so, you know, they put me on the well, and I worked the shift, and they said, well, do we need to train him? And Rob said he was already trained. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
That's killer.
So then that's when I moved to bartending there.
You took to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it about it that's like appealing to you?
Man, it's a little bit of like what you said, where you're showing somebody something new that you're pulling somebody out of their comfort zone that they're not normally in, and now they think differently about something.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to do that for somebody is it's I don't know the right word.
It's pretty rewarding.
Yeah, it's a rewarding, but it's also a pleasure to do that. It's a, you know, it's there's no word I'm thinking of, but
you're such a selfless person.
Yeah.
But I can imagine how that feels, right? So I've got my bourbon collection, I've got this stuff going on, but to truly see the sparkle in someone's eyes when they're like, holy shit, you just changed my night.
Yeah, like now
it's got to be a great feeling.
And then it's like, what else? You know?
Yeah. It's hard to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when you learn how to do that. Then like pull out the big guns right away. It's like,
So, but how long was it before you were like full time bartending? Didn't see that as part of the trajectory at all.
It took me about 6 months.
Oh, really? So it took a bit.
Yeah, because Pech&eacute is a beast, and it takes a long time to tame that bar and like to feel.
It's huge, man.
Comfortable.
Just sheer size of it. It's crazy.
Yeah. And just you're dealing with demands of the downtown person, you know,
which could be a cool guy one moment, an asshole the next, right? Like it's so volatile.
Well, yeah, and you learn how to deal with each of those people in a way where they're gonna want to come back, you know, to make them happy at the end of the night.
Makes you a good people person, too.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if somebody hasn't left your bar feeling better than when they showed up, you're not doing your job. You know, no matter who that is.
Yeah.
If it's the guy that wants a vodka soda, if he leaves your bar feeling worse than he did when he showed up, you've done your job wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's a simple one, right? But it's about the service element, I think.
Yeah.
At least if I was legally able to serve, I would totally serve because I just love that concept, But even a vodka soda, I think that's conceptually just a wonderful case study.
Yeah.
Because a vodka soda is not difficult, right?
No.
But how you deliver it without angst, without judgment, that is the key, right?
Yeah, it would just not even, just making sure his water glass is filled with that vodka soda,
right.
Just simple things like that. But it's like you said, it is a case study where like you can almost tell of a bartender if somebody asks for a vodka soda and really wants a vodka soda, how much guff he gives.
The hemorrhoid flares up.
Yeah.
But so as far as I know, so we've met a couple times, but I've always known you as the rum guy.
Yeah.
Why do I know you as the rum guy? What happened where you gravitated towards rum?
I think when you're at Pech, you've tasted everything and you're kind of, you literally taste everything there.
Sure.
Because at the end of the night, sometimes it's like, well, what do I want to learn about now?
Yeah. Massive library. It looks like a library. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just something about. It's just one of those ones that speaks to me. I don't know if it's the sweetness, the sweet flavors, the sweet notes that are in it.
Right.
But there's just something about it that.
You connect with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that what they gave you the opportunity? How long were you bartending, so to speak, with Pech total?
Well, it was about 3 months before I was from like busser to bartender. Maybe 3-4 months, something like that. Yeah. So probably 3 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you really dedicated to it.
Yeah.
A lot of. That's one of the things that's a fault of a lot of people in the industry is that they're not willing to sit and carve it out for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, you're also at a bar like that. You've never learned everything.
Yeah.
You
can't.
You can't. Yeah.
Did you get a lot of guidance from Rob on that stuff?
Oh yeah. He's got a lot of guidance in general. He's a businessman, and working with him, you learn how to do what's right for a business, and not for yourself, and because Pech's his kid.
Yeah, man.
You got to treat it like it's his kid. Anybody who
insults the kids got to pay.
Yeah. Anybody who's doing something to harm it, it's
they're an enemy.
Yeah.
So how did that conversation go where they said, "Well, you done good, kid.
Yeah.
We want you to take over or manage Isla. Isla. Tell me which
Isla.
Isla. Okay.
Well, I got into rum and learned a lot about it there. I grew the rum collection at Pech pretty strong, and it was just made sense to move me over there and take over that. It wasn't really
wasn't forced, it sounds like.
No.
Just like, hey, we're doing this thing. You want to do it?
Yeah. And it's started there as a GM. Which I found out that's also not something I want to do ever again.
Figuring out schedules and shit.
Yeah, well, not just that, but I don't know. It's the floor, man. The floor is not. It's just not my place, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it just made sense to move me over there and take over there because that big wall of rum, somebody had to know what to do with it.
The best in town.
Yeah. So somebody had to know what to do with all that. So.
Yeah. Here's the tools.
Yeah.
We gotta have a scientist to work with it.
I didn't even know we were gonna pick up that place until month and a half before we actually opened.
No kidding. Yeah, I heard it was a very swift acquisition, if you will.
Very swift,
But it seemingly didn't lose any of the vibe at all.
No.
Because you had to rebuild out or anything. You just kept the. Yeah. It's almost like he just bought the rum selection that was
pretty much, and changed the booths and everything.
Yeah. But probably the menu as well, right?
Yeah. But my last day was 2 weeks before it opened. at Pech&eacute.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Is that so? That was it a proposition to get you to?
Well, no, it was just like, it was like, okay, you're at Pech&eacute and we're gonna call your last day 2 weeks before we open Isla, and you can hire and get everything together in 2 weeks. And
did you? Is that so? You fully knew you were going over there, or you?
Yeah, I knew I was going over there, but it was like putting together a lot of things really quickly.
Yeah. Wow. That's insane. So here's a great time to talk about rum. So I recently got back from London. I broke a bottle of the 3-year Havana Club. My clothes were soaked in Havana Club rum. It was both stimulating and worth crying over. Yeah. But I was able to secure the kind of the selection, the presidential selection of Havana Club. And I'm not sure, we've both been talking about this like before we started, what the age is on it, but it's three different woods.
Yeah, 3 different woods.
Yeah. And this is at, do you have the proof on it over there for me?
Yeah.
I think it's probably what, 40, 45?
45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is an insanely good Havana Club.
Well, like I said, it's got that dirt, that Cuban dirt.
It does.
That
but it's really pleasant dirt.
Yeah.
I want to hang out in the dirt if that's what it tastes like, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's got the vanilla, but it's not sweet.
No. It's implied.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
You know how you have umami notes that aren't specifically fatty, but you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of thing with the wood there. And I don't know why it's so brilliant, but Havana Club, maybe it's, because it's hard to get or rare or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is a really beautiful sipping rum.
Oh, this is a great one.
Really, really wonderful.
Yeah.
And it was not the casualty, so I look at it more even positively because I lost the other bottle. Right. So this is the one I got you. I saved you, my friend. I saved you with my luggage, tossing it around. So is there any other rums that you're really big on? Do you like more young rums and agricole style? Do you like heavily aged rums?
I like agricole styles,
yeah,
especially the aged agricole.
I've yet to have a really nicely aged agricole. What's one that you would suggest?
The Clement 6.
Yeah, 6 year.
Yeah. That one is really, really exceptional. I mean, most of your aged agricoles are going to be really tasty, just in different ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
because they've got so much more going on. Now, I'm not to say that a molasses base is flat. It's not, right? But agricoles to me are brighter, sure.
Yeah.
Poppier. They're toothsome. They've got just so much vibrance to them.
Yeah, and they don't add any sugar to them either. So it's just a clean,
ultra nice and bright and light. So
yeah.
The Clement 6 year though, you think?
Yeah, if you want one that's kind of showing you what that can be, what aged agricole can be, that's one of my favorites.
I think I do want that.
Yeah. I mean, all of them are so. I think agricole is interesting. It starts to get to be like wine.
Yeah.
With agricoles,
it is,
because where the sugar cane grew up and
right,
and what part of the island it's on and what the weather was like that year.
Yeah.
And you can get really, really into agricoles to the point where it's almost like wine.
They're interesting.
Yeah.
And I've been pursuing because I want to make one.
Okay.
But the thing is that there's a balance you can strike where you can have a molasses and an agricole built. Because to me, all spirits are music, right? So it's like, is there enough high end? Is it bright enough, but yet deep enough? And for me, agricoles are mid-range on.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have that depth, low end, backer palate that a molasses based does. So I kind of strive to balance those two things out. But the Cuban style, though, is almost about perfect.
Yeah.
In terms of how bright and dark it is.
This one is, This rum right here, I've tried it before, and it's one of those ones that hits all the notes right where it should,
Totally does.
'Cause you get a lot of rums that are too rich and too deep, and it's like you're chewing on it at that point.
It's dessert.
Yeah.
Like that. So that Angel's Envy rye, for example, and I love Larry for sure, but those rum casks so heavily influence the taste of that rye that it's just, I want to pour it on ice cream and be done with it. I want to reduce it down, pour it on some ice cream, and fucking be done with it. It's interesting how that stuff is.
Yeah. But I mean, you as you drink more rum, like you find like one of the first ones you end up liking is the ones with the sugar in it.
Sure.
Because it takes all the edge off, and you're like, oh, this is a great rum. This is a tasty rum. I love this. And then you start trying other ones, and the first time you try one that's not like that, it's like, this is too harsh, and I can't figure it out. But as you
give it some time, though.
Yeah, exactly. As you kind of develop your taste more in that direction, you can really start to tell what rums have the added sugar, the added, the flavoring and the non-potables. Not that there's not an art in what they do there, but
there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
right? But
no, God, no.
But there's something, you're right, like something really natural about rum.
Yeah.
Rum, and my wonderful Lydia, who's downstairs, like, rum makes you happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of other things don't make you happy.
Yeah.
Bourbon, for me, makes me happy, but for a lot, it makes them very pugilistic, and they start getting in fights. Yeah. Well, so, all right. So we're nerding about rum, sipping it, but there's been a recent shift for you. So you're GM of Isla. Sorry, I'm going to fuck it up every time.
Fine. Yeah.
I'm still going to drink rum there, but I'll mess up the pronunciation. Why you stepped away to do something else, and so why'd you step away?
It was a little bit of an idea of the concept needed to change.
Yeah. Were you comfortable with the concept?
It needed tweaking.
Yeah.
So tiki is a very, very, very difficult thing.
Why is that?
Because there's cultural background, and there's cultural not repercussions, but there's things you have to hit to
right. You want to remain
tiki bar,
honest to it.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I never wanted to be necessarily a tiki bar, but there are some things you do have to, pay attention to when you're doing tiki.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
oh fuck, man, I can't remember the syrup I'm thinking of specifically, but the spice syrup.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of like when there were pre-prohibition bars, and they were sticking really close to that, that pre-prohibition thing, and using the jiggers, and but there's some of that reminds me of that, where it's like trying to stick what made it what it is, trying to stick with the, because you have people that are really into that.
Yeah.
That really understand every cultural implication of tiki.
Sure.
And even when you're doing it, like I was basically doing tiki at a rum bar.
Yeah.
But I think I wanted it to be a tiki bar really bad.
Really?
And
it's funny because most people think that it is a tiki bar.
Yeah, it's more of a, I'd say it's definitely more of like a rum bar that's doing tiki, like a tropical bar. I mean, that's the best way to.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Did it feel like it was coming to a head, more or less, that it wasn't working for you?
I don't think I'm trying to think of the right way to put it.
Right. Don't worry. I suspect that no one will be upset, and that too, no one gives a shit of what I'm doing in this room. So, did it work or not? Were you comfortable with what was going on?
Not entirely. There's a lot that I would have wanted to do that,
right,
that fit more with tiki and fit more that theme. But I was happy to experiment and try it and do it. That was the whole idea, you know. Like I still think Austin's still a ways from being able to do it.
Yeah. You ever been to a rum club in Portland?
No, I've heard about it though.
Yeah, that place makes me happy.
Yeah,
it's good.
Well, I think that's what the place originally started out trying to do, is like more of a rum bar.
But it diverged from that.
Yeah, and we had a couple tiki drinks, and everybody was ordering the tiki drinks.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, well, we can keep doing these other 15 cocktails, or we can follow what these other 2 cocktails are doing.
Consumers want what they want, right?
Yeah.
And so you think that was kind of a sticking point, though, where it's like, we probably should be a tiki bar because that's what everybody's ordering. But maybe Rob wanted it to be a rum bar. Like he wanted Pech&eacute to be an absinthe bar or whatever. Yeah. So did you feel uncomfortable in moving on? Like, so here's the thing. Were you forced out in a sense because like creatively it wasn't working, or just where you're ready to move on? I
think I'm just ready to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I put a lot of hours into that place, and at some point you just get tired.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't want to be.
And you don't want to be.
You don't want to be. You really don't want to be. But it's just like I've put everything I got into this place, and
right.
You know.
Do you feel like it paid off, or?
Yeah, it definitely paid off.
But you still walk away at the end of the night saying like, I gave all this in, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not like a negative, like I gave all I got and I didn't get what I wanted out of it. Yeah. Not at all.
You felt totally clear. You gave what you needed to give, and you could walk away from it.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it acrimonious at all? Were you guys cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so you've transitioned then into. I want to should I say the name of the distributor? Or should I say the acronym? Because they're both really, really good.
Yeah.
And evil. And
yeah.
So you're working for Republic.
Yeah, yeah.
Doing mixology for the whole portfolio, I think.
Right, for the whole portfolio.
That's killer.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
Very excited.
Did you want a corporate gig?
Man, honestly, like I love the bar, but anybody who's ever opened a bar, I fucking bow down to them, man.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I haven't done it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
It's it wasn't even my money involved, but just opening that place up, you know. In the role that I had, it was grueling, you know. And I think a little bit of me wanting to go to that side of the business is some backlash from I don't want to do this when I'm 45.
Yeah.
You know, like still.
What's it look like when you're 45?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because it's like, how long do I see myself doing this? I'm a fucking DP, goddammit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I feel like it's time to transition now.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite parts of working behind a bar is kind of being a conductor to other people that you're working with.
Yeah.
So you get to pass on the things that you've learned and
inspire them, right?
Yeah.
Create mini yous.
Yeah.
That's really the best way.
Or you know, just give them not teach them, but just be there to mentor. Yeah.
Are you comfortable with that term?
I'm comfortable with that.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, because I like just being a conductor of information, and you know, and I never press that on people that I work with. I never, you know, but I make sure that they know that I'm there to give them that. You know.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what's the gig look like with Republic? What's day to day look like? Because you start
I don't
next
know yet.
week.
I start tomorrow.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
But so the good thing is that you'll have a lot of weapons in your arsenal.
Well, that's the idea. Like a lot of weapons, a lot of freedom to just learn.
Yeah.
You know, like I can. My job is to know. My job is to learn and
which is what you wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Because you love to learn, understand. Do you go down to how things are made? Is that of interest to you as well?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Just all the details.
Yeah.
How to construct something.
Yeah, I think one day I'll probably go deeper down that path. But
you think so?
Right now,
like distilling and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shit! We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all.
You know, nothing's fun when you get down to it. Like,
oh man, no shit. It's like, man, we just ran this load of something or another, and it's like tastes like shit. What do we do? You know. It's a wonderful thing.
When you get down to a certain point where you're really putting everything you are into something.
Yes. Because it's hard because, in a sense, like working for a company, you can still stand behind the company, right? So the company is ultimately not responsible is not the right word, but they're the brand.
Yeah.
Not you yet.
You're going after that brand. Yeah.
Exactly. But when you're the brand, only you.
Yeah.
It's a bit more.
That's
gritty.
Yeah, that's
it's
part
hard.
of like that's why like being a bar owner, and you know.
Yeah, exactly. Being a bar owner, it's the same kind of thing.
Same thing. You're that brand. You've built that. That's your, you know.
It's your baby.
Yeah.
The brand, the process, the staffing, all that.
Yep.
If it fails, you fail. Because then it feels very personal.
Yeah.
You know, it's just different. But so you're excited about the Republic thing, obviously.
Yeah, because
Republic, Trey's ultimately very excited about the gig, the new gig.
No, I actually don't know what like day to day completely looks like yet.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I totally wonder.
I have an idea
Texas
what the job is.
Only?
San Antonio and Austin.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
You have experience in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good friends on there. Jarrett's a great dude.
Oh,
There's lots of good dudes out in San Antonio. Well, so I'm going to conclude because this one question I have, though, I think it's really, really important that there's a perception, I think, with many bartenders, mixologists, cocktailologists, which is my favorite, that the party lifestyle takes you away from being able to have like a legitimate and a very constructive and committed relationship. So you've been married for how many years now?
I don't know the number.
Let's say more than 3.
Yeah, more than 3. Yeah, God,
because you've been here in Austin 4. I think 3 is a safe number.
Yeah.
How
4,
does
5, 6, 7, 8.
No,
eight? No, it's
wow. It's all been great. All of it's been great.
Yeah,
of course. Does that help to be able to go home and whether it's unwind, whether it's share all the stresses of the bar and stuff? Like, does she support you when you have to work till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She does pastry.
Oh, cool.
So she understands the business. Yeah. I mean, honestly, a lot of the creative part of doing cocktails is from her.
Okay.
I learned a lot from her desserts and how she would go about flavors and combinations and how she would always try to make desserts that were light, like lighter desserts. Like she doesn't like the heavy sugary. Yeah. She likes the lighter, delicate flavors.
Makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
There
right.
You go. Yeah.
So I mean, from watching her do that with desserts, I was already got a head start on how to create a cocktail. Yeah. And balance it.
Sure. Do you think you're gonna ever step away and just go be a filmmaker?
I feel like when I'm older and I'm like, older. All right, yeah.
Keep in mind, like for people that are half our age, we're fucking old. When you're older, that could be 32, but it could be right now.
I don't know, because I mean, I feel like I would want to go back to it if I ever had something to say.
Yeah.
If I ever had a story that I felt like people would benefit from, or just the idea, like I feel like I'd probably go from a director's standpoint at that point. Because I understand the visual language of film, but I also have my own emotions that I've been through. I understand how to pull those same emotions out of people.
Yeah. Do you write at all at night? Or I say at night, like it's some kind of diary or something. Yes. Tonight, Rob touched my. I didn't like it.
I used to write a little bit, but. Back to what I was saying before, like I always found myself writing for the visual of it more so than the emotion of it.
Yeah.
So I was almost writing for a look that I wanted it to be more so than,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. I'm super stoked to see what you do at Republic, and I think it's just. Here's the thing. So like a lot of people have trajectories and stuff. They have like huge pedigrees. They've worked at this place and this place, but. The thing is that the fact that you're able to lead a rum bar, even though it's a tiki bar, in my opinion, right? But the fact you're able to do that in such a short period of time speaks volumes about your ability to do stuff, your ability to create, your ability to make cocktails, all of it, right? Like you're doing a fucking good job.
Thank you.
And for whatever it's worth, I'm wearing a hoodie that smells. It's got a Gary BC pin on it. Whatever it's worth, right? But you're doing a good job, and obviously Republic was keen on that, and they want to bring you in. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens next, and maybe, just maybe, we can work on a rum together.
Yeah,
because I've got suppliers, and I think that you'd be the right guy. So. No promises to anybody that may or may not be listening. Yeah. But it'd be fucking cool to do it, man.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Thank you for doing what you do. And, I'm going to make me a cocktail downstairs. It's the only fair. So thanks so much for chatting with me, Trey.
Yeah, thank you.
So how about some Havana Club love there, everybody? What'd you guys think of my interview with Trey? Trey's a pensive dude. You can tell he's thinking. You can tell he's measuring details in his head. I wonder if he'll ever venture back into filmmaking, into cinematography. I'm not really sure, but it was cool catching him and interviewing and chatting with him just the night, when all this tension and anxiety perhaps is building when he has to start his first 9 to 5 gig in the booze industry with Republic. distribution. So hope everything's going well, Trey. I hope it was a good first week. And it was a pleasure talking to you. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning into Show to View with Mike G. And no matter what kind of tiki drink is in your mug, please keep dancing.